Okay, this is the inverse functions part 2 notes, and now we're going to focus on figuring out how to find the inverse function. So our first step is to change the function that they're given from f of x to y, and then you want to switch where your x and your y are, and then solve for y this time. So we're going to add 4 on both sides. That gives you x plus 4 equals 2y. Divide by 2. And so now our new function is y equals x plus 4 divided by 2. So our f of negative 1 of x is the equation x plus 4 divided by 2. Okay, on the back, this is another example. This is in standard form, but it doesn't change what we do. We still want to rewrite it where we have changing our y's and our x's position. So that's a 2x equals 4. So all I did was switch my x and my y. And then we're going to solve for y. So I'm going to move 3y on the other side, allowing me to get 2x here equals 4 minus 3y. And then I need to move my 4 on the other side. Two x minus 4 equals negative 3y, and then we divide by negative 3. So our f of negative 1 of x becomes 2x minus 4 divided by negative 3. Okay, so whether it's a standard form or mx plus b form, it doesn't change the steps you do. You simply do that switch. Okay, so another example. This one has x inside the parentheses, but those steps stay the same. So first we're going to rewrite it as y equals 4 times x plus 9. And then we'll do our swap. X equals 4 times y plus 9. And here's where you could do one or two things. You can distribute the 4. But I think the easiest way would be just divide by 4 because you're going to end up doing it anyways later. That gets rid of it. So you get x divided by 4 equals y plus 9. And now we can move our minus 9 across. So x divided by 4 minus 9 equals y. So f of negative 1 of x will be x divided by 4 minus 9. Okay, last example. We have a quadratic, so y equals x squared plus 19. We're going to do our swap. So x equals y squared plus 19. And we want to get y by itself, but we do have a square on the y. So to get that to go away, we actually have to do a square root. The opposite of a square is to take the square root of both sides. That cancels those two, leaving y, and then you get the square root of x minus 19. So our f of negative 1 is a square root function of square root of x minus 19. Now, here's the one rule. Anytime you have a function that has a like square root or exponential or logarithm where there is your domain has a restriction on the parent function, you have to say what the restriction is on the new function. So this one will have a restriction because you cannot take the square root of a negative number. So 20 minus 19 is a fine because that'd be the square root of 1. 19 minus 19 is fine. That'd be the square root of 0. But 18 minus 19 would be bad because that'd be the square root of negative 1. So we have to restrict it, saying that our domain is all x's where x is greater than and equal to 19. And that will restrict it so that we have a legitimate function.